know that there's going to be a pathogen coming, a pest coming, something that's going to destroy the crops. We've known that since the history of humanity.
The United States is probably the most efficient, effective agricultural producer in the world.
We eat very well, and a lot of that is because we have the genetic resources associated with combating the next scourge for the world.
The gene bank that we're in today is one of the largest, if not the largest, gene bank in the world.
I would describe this as a library with genetic information for every crop and animal that's important to agriculture.
We have, for example, over 800,000 samples from various types of livestock collected in the United States.
We have about 800,000 accessions of seeds, and each one of those accessions is a bag with about 3,000 seeds.
We're talking in the billions of seeds that are stored in this facility.
Most of the collection can go into what we call conventional storage. They're freezers at -18 degrees centigrade. And then there are materials that we don't know how to work with. We are trying to take germplasm, that's the tiny little bit of material that you can grow a plant out of. We have to excise the tiniest portion and store them cryogenically. We have a large liquid nitrogen habit. We go through about 30,000 liters per year, so we have liquid nitrogen on tap.
Our collections are meant to be used.
Have a good weekend.
And that means that we will be taking in material from various breeders throughout the country, and we're also going to be distributing material. And that differs a lot from other gene banks that you see in the world that tend just to accumulate material. If there were a disease outbreak and large numbers of our livestock population were killed as a result of that, breeders could come to this facility and use material from here to help reestablish populations that they lost during the disease epidemic. What we want to be able to do with this collection is to have a range of genetic diversity.
It's those little differences of why one crop performs well and another crop doesn't. There's always a pest, a pathogen, a drought, something that we have to improve crops for. One of the big problems right now is citrus greening, a disease that is lethal to the citrus trees. We know that the citrus crop in Florida is being destroyed. If we know that there is a pest or a pathogen that's coming, a researcher will come screen the collection for the genes of resistance and then incorporate it into a modern variety. The traffic for diseases and pests usually comes from the old world into the new world, so it's a matter of time for them to come here. If you want to be scared, you can be scared, but the system works. We have the genetic resources, we have a beautiful collection, and when something bad happens, you pull the volume off the shelf, breed it, and you have protection.